The fog came in on the seventh night without a sound or wind. It wrapped around the ship like fingers closing on the skin. The lanterns turned to smudges and the stars were swallowed whole. The river disappeared beneath a white and heavy scroll. Aristotle raised his hand to cast the dark aside. The magic hit the mist and cracked and withered when it died. Skink fired the engines and the light could not get through. The fog was not a weather and the fog was not a dew. The first to fall was Tarop, and we found him at the wheel. His feathers torn like paper and his throat a broken seal. The blood was on the decking in a circle dark and wide. The saint fell to his knees beside the friend he lost inside. The parrot eyes were open but the light had left the gold. The man who saved a little orphan boy was stiff and cold. We searched the ship from bow to stern and nothing could be found. Just the dripping of the river and a deep and hollow sound. We locked the doors and posted watch and kept the weapons near. But the fog was pressing closer and the fog was pressing fear. Young Patch was in the cargo hold with rope around his arm. He said he heard a tapping and he went to check for harm. We found the boy in pieces at the bottom of the stair. His mouth was frozen open and his eyes were full of prayer. The questions he would never ask are floating in the dark. The fog had taken something that would leave an endless mark. The fog is in our lungs and in the corners of our eyes. The fog is eating every prayer before it ever flies. We cannot see the killer and we cannot find the blade. We huddle in the lamplight of a tomb that someone made. Stepped outside to check the rigging on the mast. We heard a single strangled breath and knew it was his last. The dragonborn was hanging from the bow without his chest. The river took the blood and left the bones to do the rest. Ollie barred the kitchen door and held the longest knife. We heard her screaming through the wood and fighting for her life. The door swung open on its own and silence filled the room. The woman who had fed us all was butchered in the gloom. Old Marta never made a sound and that is how we knew. We found her in her cabin with the blanket soaking through. The woman who asked every question had no final word. She died alone and quiet and her ending went unheard. Aristotle smelled the magic underneath the mist. A holy kind of darkness on the edge of what exists. Not a beast and not a phantom but a consecrated soul. A servant of a darker faith with slaughter as the goal. The hero said the name before the shadow left the bow. Nero stepped into the lantern with the slow and patient bow. The ocean skin was painted in the blood of every kill. The friendly smile was gone and something ancient took its fill. He spoke the name of the god of fear and the fog began to sing. He wore the mark of a bishop underneath the holy ring. He said the south will never see the hero or the sword. He said the deep had sent a faithful servant of the Lord. The The eyes that shook our hands and made us feel like we belong. We're counting every heartbeat and we're planning all along. The tide of blood is rising and the deck is running red. The friendly face of Nero is the shepherd of the dead. The fog is closing, the blade is drawn, the bishop strikes before the dawn.